Welcome back, and this lesson is about graphing functions using the x and y intercepts. And with these guys, we have to understand that the y-intercept is where your line or your function crosses the y-axis, and your x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. And real quick, this guy that goes left-right is your x, and this axis that goes up-down is your y. So we have to remember your x-axis runs left to right, your y-axis runs up-down. And again, the intercepts are where your line is going to cross those axes or those lines. So if we have a line that runs through our equation like so, or runs through our graph like so. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, it's not working. I can't use a ruler. I'll do my best straight line. Look at that. Perfectly straight. Boom! Line like that. Wheel. This part right here is our y-intercept. And this guy over here is our x-intercept. Okay, now with the intercepts, this point right here would be 3, 0. The point down on the y-intercept would be 0, -2, if we wanted to get the coordinates. And if you ever see a point where it's 0 and some number, you know that is the y-intercept. How do we know that? Because when x equals 0, whoop, we're right there. So when x is 0, wherever y moves is going to be along that y-axis. Okay, we use the y-intercept a ton in algebra, so make sure you understand this idea. It will give you usually a few shortcuts. So if you can recognize on an ordered pair, if the first number is a 0, whatever number that second value is going to be the y-intercept. The x-intercept would be x-intercept, comma, 0. So we don't use the 0 as much in algebra for the x. You do use it in physics, though, usually with gravity things when something hits the ground. Anyway, how do we graph using this information? Well, to graph, you plot both of the intercepts and then draw a line between the 2 points. Okay, so graphing with intercepts, the main deal is you need to find the y-intercept, put a dot wherever that is, x-intercept wherever that is. So when we did this graph, we put a dot at -2 and a second dot at 3 on the x, and then we just drew a straight line between the two lines. Graphing with intercepts are pretty smooth, and sometimes though you're given an equation and you need to find the intercepts out of that equation. So what we're talking about today, and the easiest is to just do an example, is if you were to have this situation, graph something like 3x plus 4y equals 12 using intercepts. We'd use the idea back here how when we have a 0 for x, whatever the y value is the y-intercept. And when you put a 0 in for y, whatever you get is the x-intercept. Okay, you're going to use that principle when when figuring out intercepts between these two. So to find the x-intercept, so if you were going to graph this, you need to find the x and y-intercepts, put dots on them, and then do a straight line. So to find the x-intercept, we put a 0 in for the y. Okay, so how it would look is we have our equation, 3x plus 4y equals 12. We put a 0 in for the y, so this becomes 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 12. And then we just solve this guy using algebra. I'm going to just pretty much eliminate that 0. So I have 3x equals 12. Classic algebra from here on out. Divide both sides by 3. And we get x equals 4. What does that mean? That means our x-intercept equals 4. Okay? So we have an x-intercept of 4. Now to find the y-intercept, it's the same thing, but instead of a 0 in for y, like the first one, we put a 0 in for x. So to find the y-intercept, we put a 0 in for the x this time. Okay, so same process again. 3x plus 4y equals 12. This time, however, I'm putting a 0 right there. So 3 times 0 plus 4y equals 12. 0 times anything is just going to be 0, so I can cancel that out. And I just have 4y equals 12. Then we're going to solve this guy, divide both sides by 4. And I got y equals, that's a y. I got y equals 3. And then remember what that means is we have a y-intercept. Oh, wow, I'm spelling this totally wrong, guys. Y-intercept at 3. Boom. Okay. And if we had a graph, we'd put a dot on 4 and then on 3. Actually, maybe I can do that real quick. Let's do it on the next page. We have to remember this. So y-intercept of 3, x-intercept of 4. If I was to do a quick graph, here's my quick graph. Okay, we need to go up a little bit. So y-intercept of 3. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. -1, -2. So we're going to go up to, what was our y-intercept was 3. So we go up to 3 and put a nice large dot. What's our x-intercept? X-intercept's at 4. So we go to 4 on the x-axis. I should label my axes. That's my x, that's my y. I go to 4 on the x-axis, put a nice dot. And then I need to do a line between those two dots. And, ooh, can I move that over? Well, it's stuck, guys. Anyway, you get the idea. That's really all we do. Draw a line through the two dots, and that is how we graph using intercepts. Thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful. Have a good